Alright guys, so this is going to be a tough video to make. We have some unfortunate news here to talk about. I'm going to go through what is positive about this video, but also what is negative. It's about MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, and you guys aren't going to like this, okay? So here is the rumor, or it's also a leak from the Gaming Revolution talking about the status of MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. Charlie Intel talks about this here. Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Multiplayer not releasing because devs think community won't like it. So that is a very interesting development here. We just talked the other day about MW2 Multiplayer Remastered potentially releasing very soon, but now we have this new update that it's being made, it's being tested, but the problem is apparently, and we'll talk about this more, we'll go through the specifics within this video, apparently it's just a version that's too different from the original MW2, and Activision themselves think people won't like this version of MW2 Multiplayer. So before we go into all of that, some very interesting stuff here. I just want to mention quickly, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch. I might do some MW2 as well on my Twitch, so definitely if you guys can follow me there, that would be pretty sick. We're at 128 followers right now. I don't know what we can get to, maybe 200 followers. So definitely let me know if you follow me on Twitch down in the comment section below, and I'll shout a bunch of you guys out. So thank you obviously for that. We'll do some pretty fun streams there. The link to my Twitch is down in the description below. But let's get to MW2 Multiplayer Remastered because this is a pretty big deal. A new report from Leaker, the Gaming Revolution, claims to provide an update as to why MW2 Remastered is not getting multiplayer. TGR claims that MW2 Multiplayer Remastered is in development and has been ready for a while, but the company only released MW2 Campaign Remastered on March 31st on PlayStation 4. At the time, Activision said they had no plans to release multiplayer, saying they did not want to release another standalone multiplayer experience that would split the community up. So that is a fair statement, but the problem is here, it looks like they are developing MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, and the reason why they're not releasing it is not because they don't want to split the community up. They know if they release MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, a ton of new people that haven't played since MW2 2009 will come back to Call of Duty and start playing, and their player numbers for all games will probably go up at that point. But here's some more information on what is going on. TGR claims in his new video that apparently the developers changed too much of Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer during the remaster process and don't believe fans will actually end up liking the remaster. He says here, I have heard some recent information, he said, that apparently a reason as to why it hasn't released yet is because the game is apparently very different to the original Modern Warfare 2, and they've changed a lot of things, and they don't think the community will like it. That is such an interesting situation here, because let's look at MW2 Campaign Remastered. What are the changes from MW2 Campaign 2009 to MW2 Campaign Remastered 2020? Not that many changes. It's pretty similar. It's almost the exact same campaign. A couple new Easter eggs potentially. The graphics are a lot better, but overall it's a pretty similar thing. Maybe, they have the Modern Warfare Remastered engine instead of the original MW2 engine, so a lot of the guns sound like from Modern Warfare Remastered and different stuff like that. So maybe that's a bit of a difference, but overall they're very similar. But with MW2 Remastered Multiplayer, here's the deal. They were working on it probably alongside MW2 Campaign. MW2 Remastered Campaign was completed back in 2018. We know that from the copyright on MW2 Campaign Remastered, and multiplayer was probably completed in 2018 as well for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. But the thing is here, it looks like they continue to test it and work on it. They're trying to find the right time to release it, and behind the scenes it seems like they're completely done developing and they've pretty much finished MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. So it's not a matter of them not having MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, it's a matter of them completing it, and then they're looking at it, reevaluating it, and thinking, you know what, if we release this now, people are going to be so mad. I think they saw a bunch of the backlash from MW2 Campaign Remastered releasing without multiplayer, and I think they're starting to realize, and they should have known this from the beginning, but they're starting to realize they want MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, actually multiplayer remastered, not like a version of it, because when they announced the MW2 maps will be added to Modern Warfare, people were so mad. People were like, I don't want MW2 maps within Modern Warfare 2019. I want MW2 maps in MW2. And I think they thought, oh wait, they really want to play MW2 2009, and Modern Warfare 2 Multiplayer Remastered, at least Activision's 2020 version, was probably completely different and potentially even more like Modern Warfare 2019 than it is the actual original MW2 2009. So a bunch of stuff here. Charlie Intel, I think, is trying to give a opposite point as to, why they shouldn't remaster MW2 Multiplayer as it was back in 2009. So they say Modern Warfare 2's original multiplayer was a bit messy. The game had many bugs, glitches, and balance updates back in 2010. The game was fun because of the issues it had, but the game was in an unbalanced state because of the split between Infinity Ward's devs and Activision Publishing at the time. And the Game Revolution goes on to say he claims he has no idea if MW2 Multiplayer will ever release now. This is what the Game Revolution says about this. So they don't know if they're ever going to release it. He continued, I have heard that they're still testing it out, so I'm assuming they're still changing things. I feel like it is going to be coming out at some point. I just really don't know when. It really wouldn't surprise me if it's not until a year from now. We've heard that Activision has officially said on record that the company has no plans to release multiplayer for MW2 Remastered. The company is focused on supporting Modern Warfare and Warzone now, and releasing another multiplayer would cause additional split of the community and additional development work in order to sustain 3 games. And they say at the bottom, as always, this information is not confirmed and just rumors from the Gaming Revolution. But as we know, the Gaming Revolution, he's banned on Twitter several times. He's obviously getting accurate information. He's getting these accurate sources. He leaked all of Warzone. He leaked all of Modern Warfare. We know this is pretty much what's going on right now. Maybe there's a slight discrepancy in what Activision is doing as to what the Game Revolution is saying, but this does make sense. The fact that they don't want to split the community makes sense, but this other fact here is even greater. So, like I said again, the Game Revolution is saying that since they changed it so much, Activision is looking and saying, okay, wait a second. I don't know if there was another feud between Activision and Infinity Ward, because they should have known from the beginning, if you're changing so much of a beloved multiplayer and you're going to remaster and change so many of the features, they should have known that people are going to have a harsh reaction to that. So I don't know if Infinity Ward was developing it. Activision had no idea they were changing so much of MW2 Multiplayer, and then at the end, Activision's like, wait a second, you guys changed too much, and we saw how crazy the community was when we said that we were going to bring MW2 maps to Modern Warfare, so if we release MW2 Multiplayer with all of these changes, there's no way the community likes it. And I guess they're just doing a risk assessment here and thinking, you know what, we're still going to make a lot of money if we release MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, regardless of if it has a ton of changes or not. I know, even if there's a ton of changes, it would make so much money if they release MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. But they're saying, you know what, on the flip side, if we release this multiplayer with all of these changes and it's completely different to Modern Warfare 2 2009, there's going to be so much backlash that it's not even worth releasing it, and it's not even worth making all of that money. And at this point, hopefully, what I'm hoping is that they go back, they continue to change things, but they bring it back to what it was before. They bring it back to MW2 2009. That's what people want. That's how you bring the old fans back. That's how you get new fans interested. No one wants a new Call of Duty multiplayer. That's what, COD 2020 is for. A new Call of Duty experience. MW2 Multiplayer Remastered is specifically for MW2 Multiplayer. We have the intentions of playing that, wanting to play MW2 Multiplayer, not a different version of MW2 Multiplayer. Now, Charlie Intel, obviously, I want to touch upon this. They are right. I mean, majority, I wasn't around. My first COD was MW3, so I wasn't around in the MW2 days, but there were a lot of issues with MW2. I know it was the golden age of Call of Duty. The problem is the game was very unbalanced, and there were barely any patches, barely any updates throughout the whole cycle of the game. And that's why you had these broken weapons, like the Model 1887, for such a long time, where, obviously it was fun, it was crazy, people were cracked out, but it's not a full complete multiplayer experience. So I think those changes that were made for MW2 Multiplayer Remastered, those wouldn't have been that bad. If they brought MW2 Multiplayer Remastered and they made it so there were no bug fixes, there were no weird glitches that may have been within MW2 2009. There was no, broken model 1887s, there was no broken whatever other weapon was overpowered. If they just changed those, they did some slight balancing updates, I don't think that's that big of a deal. I think if they just changed those issues, that's not that big of a deal. It seems like here that they changed a lot more than that. You know what I mean? If they changed just the bug fixes, I feel like, are people really going to get angry? Like, obviously, they're not going to release MW2 Multiplayer with the same bug fixes from 2009. As much as it was fun and stuff, that doesn't make sense. But it seems like behind the scenes, even Activision is realizing, wait a second, you guys changed too much. Activision wants them to fix the bug fixes. They're not going to release a broken game. But Activision probably saw, wait a second, you guys changed like the whole layout of MW2 Multiplayer. You guys changed how the movement system works. Like, they must have done something significant to where even Activision is like, wait a second, we can't release this because people are going to say this is just way too different from the original MW2. So I don't know, man. It's a very weird situation. We'll probably talk about this within a different video. Hopefully we get some more information, some more sort of status updates as to what's going to be happening with MW2 Multiplayer Remastered. I want to play the game. I tweeted out, I'll still play it regardless, even with the new version, because I just love new Call of Duty multiplayer experiences. But I understand, like, you know what, if they release it and it's way too different from the original MW2, that's not going to be a good look on Activision, and a lot of people are going to be mad. So let me know what you guys think about this. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video despite the overall bad news. I did say I was going to go through some positives within this video, but there aren't that many positives. I mean, like, it just doesn't seem too good right now. So I'll update you guys. We'll see. Leave a comment below MW2 if you watched the whole video. It's pretty important and greatly appreciated, obviously. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I'll see you guys later.